Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am really sorry to wait for like 8 minutes, but we were having some time zones issues with Leslie, and she thought this webinar is like 1 hour ahead of right now. So I think she is on right now. Leslie, can you hear us? Hello? I need to do one thing. Yeah, I think once I hear from Leslie.
I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Leslie. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm so sorry. I thought that we were like know about the time issue thing now. We did a test session at 3.
It's okay. I'm here now.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So thank you again, everyone. And if you can hear us all, please put ones in the question area or chat box. And please tell us where you are from, and we'll look at that, and Mark will be replying back to that. Again, so sorry for the delay. And you're hearing my voice. This is Reeve here, and I know that usually it's always Wayne doing this, but he has been sick for last 2 days, and we asked him, like, he was okay to be on today, but we requested him not to because he was really, really sick. So he said that we will handle this on his behalf. So it's me, Mark, and Aaron as team from EAT who will be doing this interview session with our special guest, Leslie, here. So, hey, Leslie, how are you?
I'm good, Arif. How are you?
Good. Sorry, I think you just know about Wayne's situation right now, right?
What?
You just like heard about Wayne's situation. I'm sorry he was not able to be on.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was sick.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on, then he was feeling really bad, and we requested him to like stay in bed because he was in bed and he was willing to come on, but like it's always good to tell him that rest a bit. He's a guy who's always on. So I think I hope you're okay with with us doing this. It will be me, Aaron, and Mark doing this.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So let's just jump into this thing. And Leslie, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about your company?
Okay, I'm Leslie Person Ryan. I am the CEO of Santa Barbara Agriculture and Farm Education Foundation. I'm also the starter of Sweet Wheel Farms. I don't know, I've been a farmer for quite a long time. I was raised on a lemon farm, and then had a citrus farm. I farmed citrus in Southern California for about 10 years. And then this opportunity came to grow crops and solve the food desert in Summerlin, and we saved 6.83 acres last year from development.
Wow. So I was just going through your website, and you use this word food desert. Like, what exactly that means?
Well, it's kind of interesting. You're the second person today that said, did you coin this phrase? No, food desert is actually a U.S. government. It's a U.S. government description of an area that has no access to fresh food. So, for instance, if you live in Summerlin, California, which is south of Santa Barbara, north of Carpinteria, there is no grocery store. So the only food that you could buy is either at a liquor store or it used to be a gas station, but that's also closed. So the last grocery store closed about 5 years ago there. And so what the problem with living in a food desert is when you get stuck there for one reason or another, you can't get fresh food. But really what's true is that when you can't get fresh food, your options at a liquor store is mostly packaged foods that aren't very healthy.
Okay. And I have like been through going through your website. You are growing a lot of things, a lot of fruits, flowers, and everything. How it can be a food desert?
Well, okay, so Summerland, we've been farming in different areas. We farmed in Carpinteria first, then we went to Orchid, and now we're in Summerland building up the farm. But before, when we were even leasing the farm, we were doing some row crops there as well. As you know, corn is our thing, so we're really trying to change the direction of how we grow corn in the United States. But a food desert, one of our missions and our goals is to supply healthy food in food desert areas in Santa Barbara County, meaning Summerlin. Nucuyama in Santa Barbara County, I believe, also is a food desert.
Okay. So I think when I was going through the website, I think it was an interesting story how the sweet field farm kind of came into existence. So can you just jump into a bit like how this all started for this one and SBFE Foundation, basically how it all started and when?
Well, there's, when natural disaster strikes, they always say it takes 3 days for the real stress to come out in a community, whether it's earthquake or hurricane or tidal waves, anything like that. In Puerto Rico a couple of years ago, after a huge storm, they had 3 days and they went to an all-cash society. Well, we had 3 years ago, we had a fire that burned for about a month burned for 50 miles and in December. And what happened was, and we were evacuated from our communities, but when we came back, that was in December. In January, we had a severe rain. And that rain led to actually the hills behind us coming down into the community, into debris flow, and where many hundreds of homes were destroyed or lost or damaged, and 23 people lost their lives. And with that, it separated us in Summerlin from the communities north and south. The freeway was actually closed for 3 weeks. The freeway, a major freeway in California, the 101, north and south, was closed. And we were definitely using our time, to worry about, the people whose lives were lost. But so the whole entire county was not focusing on Summerlin. And really what's true is Summerlin was landlocked. We couldn't go north or south, and we were without food. So after 3 days, people started fighting over food at the liquor store, which, was getting pretty sparse. And then it got worse as the time went on. There was no telephone or internet or cell phone or television because all those utilities were cut off, no newspaper, and people were walking the railroad track to try to find out what was happening, 5 miles in the community north of us. And then what happened is that people started, young women, I've heard 4 personal stories of people, and we've documented stories from other people of experiencing fights, physical fights over getting food. So, when this young woman came in and told me her story of fighting over the last stale sandwich because she had 3 young children, I thought we got to do something about this to solve it. You'll see here, I see on your screen, there's a man on the right with a mask and a blue t-shirt. And, if you click on that, you'll hear him describe people getting into a fight over food in the community that he experienced. There's quite a few people that experience that, seeing people fighting. So I said, let's solve this. Let's start a farmer's market cart. I started purchasing food from organic farmers. And then I started looking at the food thinking, hey, I've been a farmer before. I could maybe do as well or better, And so I've always been a believer in regenerative and no pesticides, organics. I actually changed our farm, citrus farm, from inorganic to organic. and had some experience, with that. And so we started growing just south of us, and then we expanded into non-genetically modified foods. And one of the places we were growing in Summerlin, I got a call one day and they said they're going to sell it and they're going to develop it into low-income housing, and which, is not neither here nor there. About, I don't have an opinion on whether that's good or not. The point is that there's no food for even the citizens there to eat already. Why put more citizens in that, again, will have no access to food? So we started a campaign to save the farm and from development, and that's, we were able to, we started a foundation just because, and I brushed on this the other day, we do have a mission, the Santa Barbara Agriculture and Farm Education Foundation. We've been supplying food, fragile people, food in our community. Either they are medically, have medical problems. We have somebody who has cancer and can't work. We have somebody who has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. There's somebody waiting on a kidney transplant. We have food fragile citizens that work quite a bit and have children they can't afford, to feed their kids. So we step in and give them healthy food. And then we have a further project of helping veterans, active military. We serve 600 meals on Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas in Santa Barbara County to food fragile and veterans. So we're doing quite a bit. If you look here, this is a really good thing. What we do, we act as Summerlin's food bank, and because there is no grocery store, we do education and in regenerative agriculture. We supply food for free veterans breakfasts. We are about the holiday foods, the active foods, and then the most important part for me is farming with integrity and building up our soil and not, robbing our soil of the best nutrients we have. I mean, we have somebody on our foundation board that's also a farmer, and he said to me, "What are you doing with your broccolini? It's 10 times the size of mine." I'm like, "We're doing nothing. That's the secret. We build up the soil. We don't deplete it." Yeah. So you'll see also here in the middle picture, we grow 6 different colors of non-genetically modified corn. We grow blue, black, purple, red, yellow, and white. And then there we stone grind it in a big molino every day, and we make tortillas and tortilla chips from that.
Awesome. I think was that great. No, that was perfect. That was perfect. No, I was just hearing this, and I think I have read through this, but what a brave move to do and what a problem-solving thing to be done, basically. So yeah, I think we can't appreciate you enough for this this action. So coming to your own farm, basically, you said you do corn, but I saw a lot of different vegetables and fruits. So what exactly you're growing in vegetables and fruits and flowers exactly? So
right now we have, oh my gosh, carrots. We just put in, we seeded carrots, but we had a lot of starts that we did. So to be, we do broccolini, broccoli, the Brussels sprouts and cauliflower, and tons of different types of lettuces, salanovas, romaines, acorn lettuces. We grow, in addition, we grow some very unusual things. We grow pineapple, we grow mango, we grow herbs, some interesting herbs. We grow a little, we call it, it's a papahuera. It's a very tiny, small potato that you won't see here on this list of things that we grow, because we're actually propagating it from one seed because it's so specialized. We don't know anyone else that's growing these things. But it's a kind of a bean-sized potato, and it's super delicious. And then we grow a little Oaxacan black bean, a very micro black bean that's incredible. We do sell that on our food cart. And then the corn, the 6 different colors of corn. We grow melons, lots of different types of melons. We grow blood oranges and regular navel oranges. And so we also grow a fraise du bois strawberry, which is a very tiny heirloom strawberry, the seeds that I got from my mother. And then, I've been growing them. We have about 100 new black raspberry, and blackberry bushes. We've been growing blackberries pretty successfully by the ocean. Everybody thinks you can't grow berries by the ocean, but we haven't found that to be true. And then what we'll be doing is putting in about 500 trees on the farm of different other fruits. So we're looking forward to that.
Beautiful. So when I've been looking at the prices here, so you're only selling locally because you said there are no grocery stores. So can you just open a grocery store there? And is it only for local, or you can, like, anyone can buy from any place?
Right, anyone can buy. We can ship. We have UPS and we do ship. It is an additional cost, but we also we do also sell locally made breads. Unfortunately, with my time, as being a farmer and, having my hands in the dirt almost every day, it's very difficult to be a baker as well. So we make scones and we make, cinnamon rolls and things like that. We do this really incredibly great, healthy muffins with zucchini, carrot, and pineapple and apples in it. And so people come for that quite a bit. I, like everybody else, started doing a ton of sourdough breads during COVID, and people really like them, but it just got to be too much for me, literally having to bake this bread. I was making bread every day, the 20-hour days was just way too much. So
okay. No, one of my questions was like, I think this thing happened back in 2018, 17 and before, and then the COVID thing happened. How exactly COVID affected you, or it didn't, or it was a reverse effect for you guys?
Well, that was interesting because we started right before we had the farmers market cart. We had to move, because we were evacuated. Our main shop was evacuated, so we started this pop-up shop in Summerlin, and that's how we found out about the debris flow. And we thought, well, we're just going to move back to Montecito, and, we would bring the farm cart with us and that would be fine. But then we found that when we moved back to Montecito, people didn't care about food in Montecito. They have big grocery stores. They don't need, there's no need, right? So even though they, yes, they understood that we farm differently. Yes, they understood that we have a unusual and original things. However, it's very easy to go to Vaughn's or, someplace, to just grab your shopping cart and whiz through, right? So, but and within a matter of a month or two, COVID started. And I thought, oh my God, we've got to go back to Summerlin immediately because they're going to need our help, because people were paranoid about going out for food and paranoid about going to the grocery stores. And so we negotiated a lease in a parking lot and set up our food cart there. And we had to go, of course, through the health departments and, get certified for all the products that we sell. And then we started being there every day. And people would drive up and they would shout out, they would roll down their window, maybe 2 inches, and shout out what they wanted. And then we'd put it in our box. And as we got close to their car, they would pop the trunk open. And then we would put it in, and they would close the trunk, and we would go around to try to collect payment. And they would shove money out the window and zoom away before we could even get close, because people were so paranoid about getting sick in the beginning. If you remember what that was like, we experienced it. People would say, I just see that? Like I just saw that, and that's how it was. People were really, really scared. And so the most important takeaway you can get from our food cart, you see the food cart there. We are a no-touch food cart. So when you walk up to the food cart, you'll see big signs on the food cart saying, welcome to our no-touch food cart. The only people that touch the food are our staff. And people can point to that cauliflower, that celery, that broccoli, or they just say, you know what you're doing to our staff. And then they put it in a bag, and it's a hygienic model. And we have, every day we hear from people that are not over the concept of people touching everything that is theirs. Do you know what I mean by that? When this one man was telling me, his wife they went to a grocery store, and this woman in front of him was picking up bunches of grapes. And he said she must have picked up 40 different bunches and put them down, up and down, up and down, up and down. She said, he said his wife finally said to this woman, "Have you touched them all?" And she's like, "Well, I guess I'm done." And she said it's so unhygienic in a grocery store, that all these people can touch the food before it becomes yours. And so they, some people get a little bit upset that they can't squeeze the avocado. However, I think overall, people love the idea that people are not touching their food. So that's one sign.
Yeah, that's the new norm now. Like, I think this is not just there. I think everywhere in the world, even in Pakistan, this started happening. And now everyone is very paranoid about this thing, and everyone wants their food to be very hygienic and clean. So I think you do it the best. I think what you come up. We still have problems with this because people still have this habit of touching everything and taking notice of everything and then putting it back. But I think we are trying to cover that. But good thing that no touch card, I think, is a beautiful concept there. Right now you have.
Well, thanks. Yeah. If you think about it, and like we farm, so when we put somebody in the field, when I go and I pick the broccolini, I cut it, and I put it in the back of my truck and I take it down to the farm cart, and we have a farm educator there that will tell people about the way we grew that broccolini, answer any questions about it and put it in your bag. Or you can get it from a big farm that they will have workers in the field that will take it to a central area or a cooler. Somebody will come and get it out of that cooler and put it in a truck and transport it and then put it in the back, and you'll have somebody take it out of that truck, and then you'll have somebody put it in shipping and receiving, and then somebody will take it out in shipping and receiving and put it on the sales floor, and then you'll have a pricer, and then all the other people that will touch that food, and then it gets put on a conveyor belt and it gets touched by the cashier and the bag boy. So there's the two models.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So I have a lot of questions here coming up from the audience, and I think I will go into one or two of them. Plus, people, if you have any questions, you can start putting them in the question box, and we will go through them one by one. So Leslie, this is one question. It says, do you see an increase in your community well-being after increasing food security in Summerland?
Well, thank you. That's a great question. So I believe, yes, we have moms that come almost every day with, the babies in the front, packet. They know that, we don't spray pesticides on our food, so they can come and they can, do their own beets and, they know they can do anything. They can get food in the community, right? We're also we're going to partner with one of our biggest health facilities. So when we talk about food security and we talk about how non-genetically modified seed gets saved, this and gets regrown every year or every couple years, in an area that doesn't have pesticides, that's really important to continue to pass those seeds through into the community and into products. So, for instance, we're creating a study with a major our major health center to test our corn versus a commercial corn on fragile populations. So yeah, there's a huge difference in food security. The other thing is we're growing, I didn't mention, we're growing a couple different types of wheats that are heirloom wheats. A Sonora white wheat. We're growing also oats, organic oats. And people have had, people come to the farm cart. I wasn't even going to put oats in because I think everybody can get organic oats from the grocery store. But what's true is people say that they just did this study and tested the oats, organic and non-organic, in the grocery store, and they all tested positive for glyphosate. So I think that people are not allergic to oat. I think they're allergic to the pesticides. You can see 3 acres, and we were also farming in we also grow in 2 months. So that's a question too. The short of it is, it's so funny, when I got in my whole broccolini and russet is there. So important to
to this. I think your foundation part. So basically, and how do you prevent food?
No access? Yeah. It's interesting because I actually started making roasted vegetables into New Orleans. Look at Liberty Kitchen. There's part of it is even in parts of the city there are food deserts. You think there's like 1 million people.
Okay. So you do any teaching in a way? There are like master classes, or like what exactly in the education thing you do to like enforce these things basically?
If you take a look right here, there's a pineapple, one of our pineapples in the middle between, thanks for the $500,000, and take a stand for our land.